Hello, I'm Denisse Vasquez Guevara, and this is a video that I'm going to introduce you myself. A little bit using all of the tools that I've been teaching you about science communication, about different activities and different things you can do around your research. So welcome. You might probably have seen like, oh, this woman is talking about us too, like kind of doing a lecture on YouTube, right? So why is that so important? And I did that on purpose on this channel is because we tend to do that as academics. We just show up and say what we say, but there's always like a personal history behind why we are doing what we're doing. So who am I? I'm a researcher and professor for the last 14 years of my life. And I've been teaching courses in communication, public relations, science communication, public communication for public engagement, and doing research with communities. So in this work, I have realized that many universities and researchers have wonderful ideas to go out there in the world, but they don't have enough tools to share that knowledge after the project finishes or after the interventions finishes. So how to keep those communities engaged with your project and how to keep a relationship going on. That was my first driver to do this project and dedicate my life to it. So all my life I've been trying to do research with communities, listening actively to what they want regarding health, regarding food safety, regarding COVID-19, regarding public spaces and planning, and also food sovereignty and how we can make plant-based foods more affordable and more approachable to people. So in this particular realm, I decided to do this change in my life 10 years ago when I was a professor and did a PhD and moved to the United States, to Albuquerque, to the University of New Mexico. Go Lobos! So thank you so much to UNM. It was the arena that I discovered how to do this work on the sustain and support of the faculty from communication, from Latin American studies, from CRP, and it has been a wonderful journey. So thank you so much for educating me in that way so I can bring that change in different realms. So what has been another big supporter of my work, another big university, which is the Universidad Pública en Ecuador, la Universidad de Cuenca. So that has been wonderful, and I have a wonderful support too here in the United States as well from Cal Poly Pomona. So it has been great to do these career changes and move around and show that in different latitudes the problem is the same. Researchers have few tools to engage with the public and also how to make these social changes happen from your own research without thinking about too much political realms, but scientific evidence. So there's so many material out there in the world right now that is not helping the people to make decisions in an informed way. What about those decisions could be helpful and available for others? What about what you know about political science, what you know about English, what you know about public health can help the life of others and don't be manipulated by fake news and content that circulates in a way that seeks only profit, but also doesn't seek the decision making in people. So welcome to the Science Toolbox. In this particular YouTube channel, you will find not perfectly done materials, as you can see. I'm recording from the floor of my apartment here in California. So it's not really a great material in terms of production, but it has lots of love and hours of work in its content. To do science communication, that goes in a long back history, probably to 1986, when I was born in a family in Cuenca, Ecuador. And my father is a dentist, my mom is an entrepreneur, and I was always asking, as any curious child, why this, why that, like trying to figure out my own ways in the world. My father, who has been a faculty member for all his life, but also a dentist, teach me many things about society and about science itself, explaining in different ways, such as a tale, with storytelling in his own way. But also I have wonderful teachers that did the same for me. Maybe that's why I became a teacher, right? Or a professor, or a profe, as my students call me, because I believe science doesn't have to be boring. Science can be exciting. You can tell science with humor. Sometimes you have to tell them a scary story so people react, but also how to call with compassion decision making in people, like showing the evidence. Sometimes with fellow faculty, I've been asked, Denise, how you tell a story or how you counteract people that you know think differently from a different ideology or perspective. Well, you have to look at compassion, first of all, as a value, but also think about that person probably doesn't have all the information you do. So issues like racism or discrimination sometimes are ingrained in the way people learn about others in a very biased way. So show them evidence. Science is the only thing that can talk out of a way of thinking to another person as an evidence. When I find those type of discussions that could be difficult, sometimes harmful, yes, you have to say, hey, this is what actually happens, without you being biased in your own way as a faculty member. You can show, hey, these are the evidences that yes, could be a great success as a business, but has been incredibly harmful to the people and the life of others. Or that discrimination can lead into these other historical issues that you probably know that actually happen in society. So, science is a powerful tool. Evidence of whatever it shows is wonderful to read. And even if you have to convince yourself out of something, you need the evidence to know what decisions need to be made in base of a specific tools or a specific knowledge or a specific ways of seeing the world. So sometimes the biggest tool or the biggest weapon or whatever you want to call it, let's be more positive, let's call it as a tool. That's why I chose to make videos of toolbox, such as a screwdriver, such as, I don't know, some hammers, like how you build things with different tools. So my tools are self-reflexivity, speech design, use of technology, but also lots of values of how we communicate things and how we want to get our message through to others, thinking from the perspective of audiences and not only in our scientific ways. So you probably will need lots of background research and observation, but also compassion to understand the other side that thinks differently than you, why they think the way they do, and in which feelings and expressions or history are those decision making or points of view ingrained, so you can counteract them. So good luck, and I hope you enjoy this.